what's up? Please tell me that this works. Can you hear me? Give me anything. Hey, how are you? Good? Dean, I see you're there. What's up? Please tell me you can hear this. Please. Keeping my fingers crossed. Anything? Please don't give me bad news. Oh, it worked. I figured it out. Yay. High five. High five. Okay. This is what I've learned on this setup that I'm utilizing now, which is really spectacular. And it makes me very happy that I figured it out. I can add captions. So, like, if I just click this, it has that graphic that you see right there. Or this. And it allows all sorts of different things I can have at my disposal to click at any moment. So if you were to be looking at the podcast, you can see, live, the Eric Zane Show podcast is now. That's cool. That helps me. Eric Zane, local asshole. Excuse me. So it just allows for a lot more flexibility. We're growing up. We're growing up as a show. But let's talk this. Tonight is the night. First of all, actually, before I get into that, you won't believe this. I hope this isn't a preview of things to come when it comes to kidney transplant. Because in my mind, it goes like this. You show up and they remove your kidney and they put it in a new guy. They put my kidney into dude's body, and then they send me home, and then that's it, No problem. But, it's half a world away in Los Angeles. And they sent me this, hey, we got to have a special meeting via Zoom on Friday, the 31st of July at 9 a.m. Okay, great. I will clear out my schedule to make room for this. So you saw how I navigated it. If you caught the earlier half of the podcast, I said, hey, I got to break away for a minute and have an important Zoom meeting. I have to get all sorts of information from the transplant team at UCLA. Great. And I click on it and it says, your meeting starts at noon. They didn't cover for the time change. I said, yeah, your meeting starts at 9. And they just left it at that. It's like, well, could you maybe think for a second? I mean, how hard is it to just look at where I'm at? When it says 9, when you say 9, it says 9. If you would have just wrote PDT, Pacific Daylight Time, or what one do you use for this time of year? Pacific Standard Time or Pacific? I don't know. Anything that said PDT or PST, I would have known that it's your time, noon my time. So that was stupid. And I ended the podcast. I didn't even have to, but it kind of worked out. It gave me a chance to go drain my bladder and get a cup of coffee. But let's talk about this. After the day unfolded yesterday with David's passing, I was like, boy, I don't know, man. Do I just punt for the weekend and don't do another thing? And I didn't really know, so I brought it up to the Queen of the Forest, and she was like, well, I don't see why you can't have a podcast. I think that would be a great podcast. To talk about all the stuff with David, and go ahead and have Benjamin come over. Benjamin, tell you what, man, Ben is a Ben is a sensitive soul so much that he might be worried that when he walks in the door, we're gonna like punch him in the face after all the shit that went down. But just because he's sensitive, and if he shouldn't worry about me, if he is worried, and he shouldn't be. But if he was, it would be Diana, because he'd come in like, oh God, is she going to kick my ass here? For whatever reason, he might come up with in his head. But there is no problem. There is no problem at all. Truth be told, prior to Ben reaching out to me recently, so much time had passed that I really wasn't mad anymore. Ben had, and we'll discuss all of this. as to what was going on in my brain when Ben went the route he did publicly, and he apologized for that a year and a half ago. So, and I think a lot of you might be like, yeah, I'd love to hear what his explanation is. And he has it, and it's good enough for me. Ben and I are good. To me, if someone walks up to me and says, hey man, I fucked up, I'm sorry, man, that's all you got to say. That is fine with me. I've been, I've had a number of people, over the years offer me that grace, and I fully accepted that. And here's the thing, and we'll talk about it at length on the Patreon. We're going to get into the ins and outs of what made the relationship what it is, what I may have done when I was working with him, the way and I hate to say management style, but I mean, my name was on the show, so it was up to me to lead. And my style can be rough, especially if I get pissed. And that's been a work in progress for 50 years and 20 some days. I try not to get pissed at all these days, and I got nobody to be pissed at. I've been so pissed at people for so many years that I'm now alone. And the overreactive nature of me, which has nothing to do with the actual incident that when I really blew up at him, all those little things, they really rub people the wrong way. So, maybe one day I'll get it. And hell, there's some of you that are enjoying this podcast right now that I might have yelled at a time or two. And I'm just, by the grace of God, if I've ever pissed you off, you've extended grace to me when I realized that, oh, man, I fucked that shit up. Overreactive. So, yeah, that's that. So to get him in here, because my thoughts on this is the time that we were growing as a show, after being pissed off for as long as I was, I've never really had a chance to look back on anything we had made or produced or did fondly. Truth be told, all the anger that I've had about that, which has since gone, hasn't led me to look back fondly on my time with Ben. It's all a blur. But since Ben came out of the woodwork and approached me, which I give him all the credit in the world for, I've started to think back on some of the fun things we did. So that's great. And to be able to get him in here and talk about some of those moments, I'm sure we'll stumble upon things in that Patreon podcast tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. It'll be great. Man, this might go a long, long time. And because, let's see, I started on BBL in April of 2016. And boy, I think Ben was, let's see. Oh man, there's so many different variables to that. I wouldn't even venture to guess when the exact date he got in there. But then, you guys really, Ben had one of the things I told him was his likability. He's very, very likable and lovable. And that is a winning thing if you can have someone who people like. And I've said this many times, I don't care about your technical ability. I don't care about anything. All I care about is, do people like you or not? They like Ben. And so when I look back on that, we started to build the show and started to have fun. That was great. And but there was a lot of pressure that went along with it. And the pressure came from the political radio side of it. You know, just the thought that knowing that we were trying to take down a 900-pound gorilla in free beer and hot wings was pressure enough. But in July of 2018, July of 2018, we had a really good ratings book. And it was like, holy shit, man, this is great. And I was on vacation, actually, when I got the news that we had really done a hell of a job. And, man, we were stoked. And I thought, well, this is a great something to build on. And then the bottom fell out because of when Ben and I got into that fight. But truth be told, I think the writing was already on the wall. I think that Cumulus had already committed to, I don't know this for sure. I think that Cumulus had already committed to going a different direction with their content. And so even if that fight had never occurred, we might have been shit out of luck to begin with. And when you think about it, here we sit 1.5 years later since the radio career officially ended. And I don't know I do know who's better off. We, right now, are better off right here. Because of, radio was already circling the drain for a lot of reasons. Mismanagement, and years of neglect and too many cooks. There's a whole, we can do a whole show on how fucked up the entire industry. I can count on one hand how many solid radio companies there are in the United States today. So they have been bleeding money. Hell, they've all gone bankrupt. When I worked for Regent, which became Town Square, Regent filed for Chapter 11. Town Square bought it up as a floundering product, and they went public with it. Their stock's in the shitter right now. You just wonder when the bottom's going to fall out on that even more. iHeart was, oh my God, $22 billion in debt. They went belly up. Chapter 11 reemerged, and it's not much better right now. Massive firings, which I've been a part of. Massive layoffs. Horrible. You have nobody in the building. And then Cumulus. Holy shit. My God. Talk about also another company. 3 companies that I've worked for, all bankruptcy. What are you doing wrong? What's going on there? And some people might be like, well, it's the medium. It's because there's so many choices. Well, too bad for you. Fucking figure it out. And so not only that, it's very, very expensive, and you get advertisers that won't spend money on something that's very, very expensive. That's where things like this podcast come into play. We can do it for, we can charge advertisers a fraction of the cost. We can get their message out just as effectively. So, I don't know who's off, who is worse off. Well, in fact, no, I do. I like I said, we are much better off where we are doing what we are doing. So, but I guess to just about tonight, how do I feel about it? I'm anxious to do the podcast. I am anxious to see where it leads us. I'm anxious to see what type of chemistry we have, what type of chops Ben has. I'll be paying very close attention to that. I'm putting the cart completely in front of the horse, but this might be something that you, the audience, might be interested in addition to what I do now. If in a perfect world, I do my podcast here, I do Patreon like I always have, and then we start to go down the road, and I'll bring it up to him on the podcast about possibly working together in some way, shape, or form to do more podcasting, more for you as the audience. Maybe you grew to love the old show, and maybe you grew to love the old show and you don't love this show. You don't like the monologue style. You don't like me. You don't whatever. But you like the dynamic between us. Maybe there's something there. I don't know. But we shall see. Everything is open to exploring, and I couldn't be happier. I'm just excited as hell that Ben reached out. Okay. All right, Kenny is going to be helping us out on the questions for They Ask Me Anything. That's one thing I just saw that I'm glad I was able to be reminded of. This is going to be an AMA format. So if you have ever had a question for Ben or myself about even something that's really benign that you've wondered how it works, maybe it's something technical that you want to ask us about, maybe it's the dynamic of the relationship, the dynamic of the radio station, the future, how we feel about whatever, no holds barred. We will answer any and all questions the best we can, unless it could put us in some type of jeopardy. So yeah, that is part of it. And the way we want to do it is ask on the Ask Me Anything is in the comments of the video when you watch it. Fire away, and Kenny is going to help by cleaning those off and then getting me those questions. And I'll probably have a conversation with Kenny ahead of time as to how we're going to work it. And then, we'll do it that way. And it could turn out to be extremely great. So if you want to take part in it, it is 7 a.m. Eastern time. And the only way to see Ben and I together and hear Ben and I together is by signing up on Patreon. If you're going to want to see us together in this room. And I don't care if you sign up once and then dump it. That's fine. But you're not going to want to because, who knows what can happen further down the road on the podcast with Ben. But if you do just sign up, that's fine. You're going to want to see us. You're going to want to hear us. If you do the $5 a month, you can't see a damn thing, and you can only listen to the recorded version of it, the recorded audio version of it, when we do that. So that's what I'm throwing out there, and Ben agreed to it, and it should be a lot of fun. A little nervous. I mean, I haven't laid eyes on Ben in a long, long time, but I'm going to be counting on you for a lot of questions. And I'm just glad. I'm just glad that it has finally come to this. There's a lot of good things happening right now in our lives. I'm excited about the new addition to our home, Kevin. Considering except the circumstances that are involved with it, with the passing of Diana's brother yesterday, I'm really excited about Kevin. We just I just went down and saw him right now, or a few moments ago. He's getting acclimated to his new surroundings. But it's there's that. I've got a couple other things working behind the scenes, trying to work on some other relationship issues I've had in the past, and then this thing with Ben is just great. So, okay, excuse the kind of like off the cuff, laid back, different style for this podcast. There's a lot of it is just stream of consciousness and a little bit different style on today's podcast, I realize. But before everything hit the fan yesterday morning with Diana, the night before, we had a paintball event, and oh my God, let me just say that the next one we do is coming up on the in August, and that is August 19th. It's a second and third shifter party at TC Paintball, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. So I want you to mark that down as in fact, that week is very busy. We got paintball August 19th, and then a party at Great Lakes Winery, Brewery, Distillery in Holland on the 21st of August. But so I had not seen Rick's setup at TC Paintball since the last time I was like there, and so this really worked out great if you think about it. If Rick was indoors doing paintball, only indoors, he would have a harder time getting people there because when you're outdoors, there is less of a concern, I guess, at least what people think, for COVID-19. You're outside. It doesn't mean you're immune, but there's a lot more. There's several more factors: the sunlight, the wind, whatever, that could make it so that you're less susceptible to any issues. And so, all right, it's a damn good thing that he went down the road of doing the outdoor paintball field. So I hadn't seen a damn thing, and he's got. I walk out there, and if you've ever been inside of the facility at TC Paintball in Grand Rapids, you see all the frickin' inflatables that you hide behind while people are shooting at you. Well, he has that outside, so identical to what is inside, but it's also outside. That is the airfield, airsoft, airfield, airplay. That is the airplay field. Okay, but he also has this tactical village. All right. Now that's like if you're playing Call of Duty and you're like walking around corners and there's wooden barriers set up from wooden pallet boxes and shit and all these obstacles to hide behind. It's like you're clearing a little village somewhere in Juarez, Mexico. And man, it is for me, I'm not good at this. So all I want to do is not get shot and shoot someone. There was a couple times when I pop out from around a corner thinking no one was there. And one of Throat Slash Dale's kids was there, and he shot me like 35 times in a second. I'm like, oh, my God. And, it stings for a second or two. There's no question, but I'm covered in paint. I put a picture of one that hit my shoulder, and the paint just went all up my neck. And it's way different when you're in the tactical village because it's like real life Call of Duty. I can't stress this enough. And we played these different games. We had 10 on 10. We had a ton of people there, which was great, man. All you folks came out. Oh man, was it sweet! And you had a handful of kids. I think Dale's kids, Sarah's kids actually are like 10 and 11. And they were playing with us, man, and it was great. So we've got the real young kids playing, and you got the old folks like me, and I can't stress enough how much fun this is. He has really amped it up with the outdoor thing there. And this isn't a commercial. This is just me telling you about what the hell's going on there. So, and he said that people are coming out of the woodwork because they don't have anything else to pass their time out. They can't go bowling. No offense. Sorry, Don. They can't go bowling. They can't go to the movies. What to do? You got to do this. You will have so much fun, and you won't think for a second about anything pandemic-wise. It will completely leave your brain. So much fun. But so we're getting ready to get started. We had a pizza party. We went to BC Pizza beforehand and bought a bunch of pizzas. By the way, I'm working on them for a sponsorship. They're not far. So Franco's went belly up. That was a bummer. So now I've moved on. And BC, we bought a bunch of pizzas from BC, brought them over there, had the pizza party beforehand. Everybody got their gear ready to go, and then, okay, let's go play. Just as we're about to get started, I'm standing next to Rick. Excuse me. And the phone rings. And all I hear is Rick's side of the conversation. And so he picks it up. TC Paintball, this is Rick. How can I help you? Yeah. Zaniacs. Well, you got to put it in a cup. Can you? If you put the beer in a cup, I mean, I don't know what's in there. I guess you could just drink a beer while you're watching the Zaniacs. You just want to watch the Zaniac paintball party, and drink beer. Whatever. Bring a cup of beer. I don't care. All right. He hangs up the phone. He goes, I don't know. Some fucking guy wants to come here and drink beer or some shit and watch you guys. Oh, all right, great. Off we go. So we go out onto the paintball tactical field, and we play around a paintball. Like I'm walking back to the area where you reload your gun, and there's a guy holding a big cup, and I go, I bet you that's the guy that's drinking the beer. In fact, I know it's the guy drinking the beer, and I know that guy who is drinking the beer. Ladies and gentlemen.
This is a softball, and this is a home run. Call it binging.
Nice boobs, Kyler.
Binging. Binging. Let's go.
Go!
Let's go.
Let's go!
Go.
Good job, Kyler.
Good job, Kyler.
Good job, Kyler. Yeah. It was freaking Kyler.
Nice boobs, Kyler.
Kyler is the man. This might be the most jovial person on the planet who has no regard for between Kyler and Throat Slash Dale. They have never looked around before they dropped a MF or any other crazy obscenity without seeing if there's any of America's youth around them. Hey, Zane, you stupid pussy. There's a kid standing right next to him like, oh, God, Jesus, man, come on. Kyler's there knocking him back. He's got a cup full of beer. He wasn't getting drunk or anything. He was having a beer, watching it, and all I had to do was see Kyler. And now the paintball event is full of quotes while we're playing. I'm sitting there dodging paintballs, trying not to get shot, and I'm going, this is softball, and this is a home run. Call it binging. Nice verb, Kyler. Let's go! Let's go! Good job, Kyler.
This is a softball.
And this is a home run. Call it binging. Nice boobs, Kyler. We're getting... Binging. Let's go! Let's go!
Let's go.
Good job, Kyler.
Good job, Kyler.
Holy shit, Kyler shows up. That was sweet, man. Wow, very, very fun. And then Kyler, he's such a nice dude. Okay, you know, you got Jason Mays there from JM Synthetics. This is all about the attitudes and behaviors of the Zaniacs. Jason Mays, a couple months earlier, on a lark, buys a $100 gift card to TC Paintball for me to give away. I mean, because he knew that Rick was punched in the nose because of the pandemic and he couldn't do a damn thing. So, I mean, just freaking amazing. And that's been more than once that has happened. So thank you very much, Jason. And Kevin Kuiper's he's the dude who won that. So he was there. And then, you know, I mean, it's just Zaniacs helping Zaniacs. This has been like wash, rinse, repeat since this whole show got started. Excuse me. Then Kyler, who's there, you know, dropping F-bombs in front of kids, he goes, hey, I got an idea. And I go, let's go! This is softball, and this is a home run. Call it binging. He goes, I'm going to go buy a set of gloves, you know, because when you're playing paintball, sometimes you get shot in the hand and it hurts like shit. I mean, it's like really painful if you get hit in the hand with that there. And you buy these gloves and they have like plastic around the top to cover the top of the hand and the fingers. He goes, I'm going to buy a pair of gloves and we're going to auction them off and draw a name. And I go, yeah? He goes, yeah, I just, you know, let's just do that. So the guy goes and he buys a fucking pair of gloves for one of the, first he goes, hey, are all these Zaniacs? I go, every single one of them. Every single one of them listens to the show or they're with someone who listens to the show. Okay, great. So at our private party, Kyler just shows up and like spends money in the middle of a pandemic. He works over at iCairo, by the way, if you ever want to check him out. Well done, Kyler. Thank you. That was sweet. You guys are awesome. So that was it, man. Paintball, one of our biggest yet. We did the Battle Royale, 21-on-1. And I think we got Rick's number down, at least in the tactical village, because we beat him in the first round and we switched sides and we beat him in the second round. He knocked me out, though, in the second round. The first round, I just kind of laid back and everybody else went after him and got him. We had some advice from Tom over at TC about how to flank his ass and shoot him out. But Rick's a ghost. And Tom said, if you don't see Rick, look behind you. And he was serious. If Rick gets behind you, you're fucked. But we had his stupid narrow ass pinned down, and we shot him up. But in the second round, I peeked out from a corner, and all of a sudden I see a paintball come flying out of that barrel. Boom! Hit me in the shoulder. Ow, it's still a little sore. We got welted up, and I want to see you at the next one that comes up on August 19th. Thanks again to everybody who came out. Thanks to Rick for hosting. It was great fun to do it. Adam came from Houghton Lake, Adam and his family. Man, that was sweet. Thank you, Adam. And some of the usual suspects weren't there. Walgrave couldn't make it down from the meth capital of Michigan, Kalkaska. He's been just hammered with work, so he couldn't make it. He's one of the veterans. Tyler couldn't make it. He had something come up. But still, we had a great crowd. If we had a full complement, I think we would have been 25-30. And I would love that for the midday event coming up on August 19th. All right. When we, in the next bit of material that I want to talk about, I've got to introduce you to a doctor by the name of Stella Emanuel. And holy shit, this is crazy. And Madonna, who's kind of looking like one of the characters from the film Avatar these days. She just looks really screwed up for 61-year-old Madonna. She's involved in this Dr. Stella Emanuel nonsense. I'll talk more about that and fill you in just a second. This show is brought to you by Blue Frost IT, the managed IT service provider of the Eric St. Joe podcast. We're going to do Tech Talk next week with Blue Frost IT. I think we were thinking Tuesday for Alan from Blue Frost IT. So we're going to start to add that to the podcast roster and bring him on to talk tech stuff. My goal for this is, you know how we have when we have Ron and Mean Gene on there? I mean, those guys, we don't even talk movies anymore. We just bring them in and just talk whatever. Alan from Blue Frost IT is what I'm hoping I'm hoping that this goes. We're on the regular. We can have him, depending on his schedule, be part of the podcasting. Alan and Ashlyn, the power couple for West Michigan with Blue Frost IT. They are managed IT service providers for small and medium-sized businesses. So if your business, you got your point of sale things, you got your computers, you got your printers, you got your hardware, software, Wi-Fi, whatever it is, modems. What happens if in your business that goes south? I mean, my God, getting that upgraded or repaired, it could take tremendous amount of time, especially during COVID-19, and that means you're losing money because you're dealing with that, okay? Call Blue Frost IT. Do not unhook all your gear and take it over to Best Buy. You're screwed if that's the case. You might as well just go out of business, all right? Call Blue Frost IT, 616-200-8550. Get on a monthly schedule with them. Then you have your own IT department. 3 months down the road, if something goes south, you call Alan. He remotes in, takes care of what's going on quickly, or at least gets a diagnosis on it, and then he can get you up and running quicker. 616-200-8550. All IT, the IT Lord, Blue Frost IT. They're at bluefrostit.com. I got a mortgage guy, the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. Mario's at his desk right now, 231-332-6505. I wonder what the hell he's doing right now. Do you dare me to call him right now on the podcast? I've done this before. And I'm really in a mood right now. I can feel the haze lifting. Doing the podcast is incredibly important for mental well-being.
Hello, it's Mario.
Hey, Mario, it's Eric live on the podcast. How are you?
Hey, man. Good morning. How you doing?
Oh, man, we got punched in the nose yesterday. We had a sudden passing of a loved one, but other than that, we're hanging in there,
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah. Hey, when can we podcast?
What? Just tell me, man. We're getting into football mode next week, and then we officially, I think, kick off August 10th. So, anytime.
Yeah.
Maybe next week.
Now, yeah, let's do that. I want to bring you on for the Van Dyke Mortgage, the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage podcast with me. We can do that. That'll be a lot of fun. And
that will be fun.
Yeah, it will. And you know what's great about you is you're kind of a personality in your own right. So I think that this I think that this can be fantastic.
It definitely depends on who you talk to about my personality.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, in this business, you're either loved or you're hated, one of the two.
Okay, well, good. Well, you know I love you. You've been very, very good to all the members of the show and to me and to my family. So
you guys are awesome.
Thank you very much. Hey, when you say football, do you mean high school football or do you mean okay.
High school football and, Ironman, we're still hanging in there wanting to play. It really depends on what our governor does with, I know the arena's open to, they're having the Jacks playing, but it really depends. I mean, if we go back to history, I think it's over, but we have fingers crossed. I mean, we have till January 31st to fulfill our contract. So we got to get 4 more games before January 31st, and we're really hoping we can do that.
Oh my God! Yeah,
and that's for the West Michigan Ironman. Yeah,
yeah. When you talk about football, because you and Nate are they work together in conjunction coaching Fruitport, yes?
Yep. Nate Smith, he's our head coach at Fruitport High School. I am the JV coach, but yes, we are all working hard on that staff to try to get back to the playoffs.
Wow.
I've been there since 2013.
What does your gut tell you about that? I mean, is this going to happen with the kids this year?
I'm supposed to say yes, that's going to happen, but, really I don't think it's going to. I think we're going to get a rude awakening on the 20th, and I think it's really political. I do think that this deal is real, but I also think, the closer we get to election time, it's more political than ever, and I think we'll get the rug pulled out from under us. I think it'll be done.
I don't dismiss any thoughts. I don't dismiss any ideas about what's true and what's not. I don't have the skill set to look someone in the face and say you are wrong. I mean, I have, but I think when you get down to it, at the end of the day, I don't know anything, and it's just all based on conjecture and opinion on things. So I think I don't know if anybody will ever really know the truth. I think that there's been so much politicizing about it that it's tough to figure out what's fact and what's fiction.
And it's hard because I have a son that plays. He's a sophomore, and one day I could think, oh, what's the big deal? It's the food. But the next day, shit, if he got it, I would feel horrible. So as a parent and a coach, I'm like, I think it's definitely real. But I also think anything real, people can use that to their advantage to get what they want. And that's anything in life, I guess.
All right.
But, I just don't think, I think that, pushback of, now I'm hearing MIAA is, pushing their season to the spring. A lot of the Ivy League canceled their deal. And I just think it's going to take one school or one state to say they're done. I think there's 5 or 6 states now that are canceling high school football. And I think we're going to probably be next. I don't want to say that because I miss getting out there and playing and, mentoring and all that. And, and this year we're in a new conference, so everything was supposed to kind of, the pieces were aligning, and I hope we can play, but I just don't think at the end, I don't think we will.
Hey, we got one game in with the West Michigan Ironman. One game.
That was good. It was rowdy. It was competitive. We had a pretty good, fan base there, and, we look forward to it.
It seems like it was 5 years ago. Is that the feeling you get? It seems so long ago.
Yes, it does.
Man, it's funny. While I'm sitting here, I'm wearing my Rad Dad's T-shirt.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
a lot of fun.
Are they actually open right now for business? Can they actually?
I think they are. And just like all the other restaurants, they got hit pretty hard, and they had to close. And I think they're open, and they're good for downtown. They do a lot of stuff for the community, and Matt does a real good job down there.
Oh, man.
We're hooking up with them to be a major sponsor, and we're there, and after the games and do our after get together.
Oh yeah,
yeah. We get a pretty good crowd there.
It's a really good atmosphere there. I've the way they decorated that place is just great. It looks awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, is that convention center done? Have they been working on that over there in Muskegon?
It looks nice. It's I drove down there the other day, and it's shaping up really, really well. I mean, I know they're still working on it, they're moving on it, but it looks, you talk about 5 years ago, it looks like it's getting close to getting open, or
nice.
At least you can visualize what it looks like. And I hope to have a big Van Dyke Mortgage sign right in the middle of that.
Oh, I know it. I know it. All right. Well, I'll get with you off of the podcast, and we'll get the final details and get together next week sometime and do some chatting about whatever it is we talk about. Okay.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. Thank you very much, and have a great weekend.
All right, buddy. I'll talk to you. Be safe. See ya.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Yep, there you go. The legendary Mario Flores. Just a sweet, sweet dude. The Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. You want more info, man? I'm telling you, you're going to love that guy. 231-332-6505. Good man there. Just love that guy. All right, last but not least, Green Clean Technologies, thanks to them. 989-560-7272. They make sure that the tech centers at any business are clean, the data centers. It's not just go through with a broom and a dustpan, for God's sake. Have the janitor clean it out. You really got to think about the small particles that you can't see. And that's what Green Clean Technologies does. They make sure that your data centers are clean and free of anything in the air that can harm very, very sensitive equipment. Their number is 989-560-7272. Or just check out their landing page website, and that is greencleantechnologies.com. If you want to request a quote, there's a little thing you click there. It says request quote, and then you get a freaking quote. All right. Okay, so, whenever there's a story about Trump, I'm like, do I talk about it? Do I not talk about it? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. And this one, I just couldn't resist. Oh, hang on a second. Let me make sure I got it. All right. The doctor behind the coronavirus claim. Okay. Trump got on board with this when he retweeted the video of Dr. Stella Emanuel. This is a doctor who's based in Houston, Texas. She's from Cameroon. She's the black lady. And she was on the, I don't know the setting. She's outside. There's a bunch of dudes in white coats behind her, and it looks all doctory. And she was touting the effectiveness of hydroxychloroquine. Okay? Now, I have no idea on the effectiveness of this drug. I am not qualified to say anything about this drug. It may work. It may not. You've heard numerous stories, and we don't know what to believe. Now, she says it does, and she's treated countless patients very effectively. The FDA has rescinded its emergency approval of it, saying it doesn't do a damn thing, and in fact, it does more harm than good. So, who do you believe? I don't know, and I'm not going to tell you who to believe. I have no clue. As we all know, this whole thing is a political football, and it has been used as such for quite some time. So, it's all messed up. I'm not going to go down that road. I'm not going to go down the road of indicting Trump for tweeting it out. I'm not going to say if you do believe it or don't believe it, you're an idiot. No way. Not me. I will say this. Looking at her own record, Stella Emanuel, this doctor, she is a doctor. Do you want to throw your support behind somebody who has a long, rich history of crazy shit? Like weirdo, hocus pocus, crazy ass, fire and brimstone, nutty as a fucking squirrel's poo bullshit. Okay, let me just go through the article with you. I got this from the BBC. Stella Emanuel, the doctor behind hydroxychloroquine. Now, some of the stuff it's obviously slanted. All news is these days. You can't look at a news source and get anything that isn't slanted. I don't care what you tell me. And that's what shapes opinions. However, if you were to go and search her out, you can actually hear her words or see her printed words as to what she feels about certain things. And that, to me, is indicative of who this Stella Emanuel is. And she's fucking insane. All right. Facebook and Twitter took down the viral video in which she appears. They said it violated their policies about misinformation. All right. But not before it was retweeted by Trump and by one of his sons. Was it Trump Jr.? I think so. Okay. President defended himself, saying he found Dr. Emanuel, who was born in Cameroon and is based in the Texas city of Houston, very impressive. All right. Well, and I see that, and I don't indict the president in any way for that, because, like you or me, if we watch something like that and you see a doctor and it is a doctor, you think, well, maybe there's something to it, and I don't know. Maybe there is. There might be something to hydroxychloroquine, and we're not aware of it. It might be. You can't rule it out. I don't care what the FDA tells you. There could be something there that we don't know about. But whatever. She has talked about in the video about her success with it. And all right. So I take that with a grain of salt, of course. I don't think that any one person, whatever they say, I'm not, at this point in the game, I'm not going to believe anything. Okay? But this is the word on Dr. Stella Emanuel. She's a little bit older than me. Born in 1965, she graduated with a medical degree from the University of Calabar in Nigeria. She has a valid doctor's license. She is a physician. She is part of the Texas Medical Board. That's according to their website. They say, you're darn right she's a practicing physician. Brilliant mind. She's also a pastor and the founder of the Firepower Ministries in Houston. Okay. All right. Doctors are pastors. All right. I can live with that. As long as those two worlds don't collide. I don't want the medicine world colliding with the religious world. I think that sometimes can be a little tricky, but not out of the question. Her sermons are available on a YouTube account set up in 2009. 5 years ago, Stella Emanuel alleged that alien DNA was being used in medical treatments and that scientists were cooking up a vaccine to prevent people from being religious. Okay. Her words. Alien DNA. So the scientists in air quotes, are getting their hands on aliens' DNA to make an anti-religious serum, a vaccine. Now, if that were all that I heard that this person had said, at this point, I am never mentioning the name Stella Emanuel again for as long as I live. I don't retweet anything that she says because she's obviously insane, right? She's insane at this point. Because if you believe what she says, you're taking the word of someone who says that scientists have captured aliens, have harvested their DNA to give to people to become anti-religious. And do you want to be the numbskull who's saying, yeah, she's got some good points of view? Oh, my God. Some of her other claims include blaming medical conditions on witches and demons, a common enough belief among some of the evangelical Christians. Fuck. Though she says that they have sex with people in a dream world. So the demons, she said that the demons have sex with women they turn into a woman and then they sleep with the man and collect his sperm. So, okay, you're sound asleep and this demon woman comes up to you, but you don't know it's a demon, and you have sex with it, okay? And then you drop a big greasy load inside of this demon's butthole, mouth, or vagina, Okay, you have deposited your sperm into this demon. That's what Stella Emanuel says. Okay, then after you do that, they reproduce more of themselves. She said this during a sermon in 2013. This is the doctor who's touting hydroxychloroquine. What the hell? If you're Trump and you post that, and I'm going to give him benefit of the doubt. He posts that. He doesn't know that she thinks that guys are sleeping with demons and injecting their buttholes with their man glaze. Okay? Trump does not know that. How would you like to be Trump when you're sitting there in the Oval Office and you're like, hey, yeah, okay, got a list of things to do today. Okay, got to do this, got to do that. And then some page comes running and says, Mr. President, you just retweeted a lady who says that there's sperm in people's buttholes, in demons' buttholes, and oh my God. And he's like, what? Holy shit, delete. Can you imagine the red ass on Trump when he realizes that sperm lady and demons is who he's retweeting? My God. Another issue that Dr. Emanuel targets is gay marriage, saying it can result in adults marrying children. No idea. This is what Stella Emanuel says. She also offers a prayer to remove a generational curse originally received from an ancestor, but transmitted through placenta. The news website's profile of her says that on the Daily Beast. Jesus will shut Facebook, the byline reads. In her latest video posted on Twitter last Tuesday, she asks patients she asked patients that she says she has cured of COVID-19 to come forward. If you don't speak up, we are getting trashed, she says, encouraging them to use a hashtag when they post their video messages. Her tweet has had more than 27,000 retweets. After Facebook took down the America's Frontline Doctors video on Tuesday, she declared that Jesus Christ would destroy the social media giant's servers if her videos were not restored to the platform. I hate it when people like this fucking kook start to speak for Jesus and say, this is what Jesus is going to do. This is what Jesus is going to do. It is such a sinister, backwards way of getting your way and sending your twisted message out to the world. This is a sick, twisted woman is what this is. This is one of the most absurd people on the planet. And there is some people have actually tried to legitimize her, and it's fucking sad. It's really embarrassing and sad. And I'm sad for people who think that this is actually a thing. I'm frankly disgusted by it. That there are people who have all the things that we have and are some people are probably very well off who actually believe this shit. And I'm not even saying that she's making it up. She just might be crazy. And if that's the case, what do you do with that? You know, I mean, who knows? Who are America's frontline doctors? The article says. It is a collection of physicians critical of the scientific consensus around the COVID-19 pandemic. The event on Monday was backed by the Tea Party Patriots. God. A conservative organization seeking to re-elect Trump. God, you know, this is so crazy for me because I want Trump re-elected, but I want all of those people that I just mentioned to cease to exist like that. I hate people like that. You're all crazy. You're crazy fuckers. Okay? And I hate the fact that a normal, clear-thinking mind like mine is bastardized and ruined because I'm thrown into the collective bunch by anybody who's not voting for Trump as being part of your shit show. Thanks for fucking it up for the rest of us, you stupid bastards. These morons believe neither masks nor shutdowns are necessary to fight the spread of the disease. Okay. Fuck. The group's founder, Simone Gold, organized a letter to Trump calling for an end to lockdown measures back in May. He, of course, said no thanks. I wonder what these fucking kooks think when Trump's on there saying, hey, you better start wearing a mask. Remember that last week when Trump said, would you please start wearing a mask? You know, damn it. I had him cornered and I wasn't able to ask him in person. Nate, Zaniac Nate, who's just one of the sweetest people on the planet. But he hates the mask, does not believe it. And I wanted to get a face-to-face with him and say, so, dude, you know, what's up with Trump? You know, what is your thoughts on the mask since Trump just came out and said, hey, dude, wear your mask? All right. That's about it. I do want to talk about Madonna. She is an asshole, and she jumped on board with this. She's crazy as shit. And in the image that I'll include in the news story when I link this up and the show notes and on ericzaneshow.com, it's that picture where she's wearing all sorts of this weird garb. It looks like some multicolored poncho with all these trinkets and shit hanging off of her face and her neck. It's like some type of indigenous Mr. T starter kit she has on, and this weird type of halo around her forehead, that the type you might see when someone's broken their neck, or if they're in one of those movies where they have a green screen and all those little balls attached to them, like they're getting ready, like an NFL player is getting set to shoot his likeness for a Madden game. That's what she's wearing, except she thinks it looks good. And this was looks like a publicity photo from a few years back on the VMAs. She's just a weird, crazy, Skeletor-looking sick bitch. And she jumped on board with this kook, Stella Emanuel. Just the other day, 2 days ago, she jumped on Instagram, and she posted this video touting the whole conspiracy theory that claims a cure for the coronavirus has been found and proven and has been available for months. It's the hydroxychloroquine. And I think one of the things about hydroxychloroquine that makes me like, well, you know, there's no way I'm going to believe that. And now maybe I'm wrong, but you would have to believe that the pharmaceutical companies and the government agencies don't want a cure right away, and they just want people to die while we wait out a vaccine. That's what you have to believe. You have to believe that conspiracy theory. So there's all sorts of different conspiracies you have to believe if you're going to believe one conspiracy theory. You know what I mean? So I think none of them are true. I think it's just a sick, disgusting vaccine that's running rampant, that's been politicized, and one day it will run its course, and hopefully it will either fade out, somehow we'll be protected from it with our own immunity, or the vaccine is great. Will I take the vaccine right away? No, I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm not quite there yet. I'm not sold on the rush job of vaccine either. But, so, she jumps on Instagram and says, look, this is true. They would rather let fear control the people and let the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. The caption read for the 61-year-old Madonna's 15 million followers. The censored clip featured crazy Stella Emanuel doing what I told you about, talking about, hey, we already got a cure. 350 of my patients are cured with hydroxychloroquine. The video, of course, declared that Stella Emanuel was a hero. Madonna went and just posted it right on Instagram. She then deleted it altogether. A surprising move, some people say, following speculation among insiders that she is selling out to keep getting attention on Instagram, and she doesn't know how weird she's coming off. My God. So Madonna jumps on board. Reps for her did not immediately respond to the request for comment from the New York Post, but it's gone now. But she still maintains that it's all true. It's all good. All you need to do is take hydroxychloroquine, but you wouldn't catch me doing that. All right. If you have any comments, questions, concern on the podcast, as always, send them along, Eric at ericzaneshow.com. Follow the show on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram and Facebook. Facebook brought to you by Irvine's Auto Repair. YouTube, unnamed sponsor, still waiting. I have it. I just can't name it. Twitter brought to you by Blue Frost IT, and Instagram brought to you by the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. I've got a coupon code for Horizon Hydroponics I want you to check out. When you go to horizonhydroponics.com and you shop online, when you're checking out, include Zane Show as the coupon code, and you'll save 10% on your order. Orders over $250 and more, the shipping is free. horizonhydroponics.com. Thank you for being part of the show. My gunsmith is BK Guns and Stuff. I'll be going over there very soon to shoot a video. If you need any work done on your weaponry, please call out to BK Guns and Stuff. Doesn't matter where you are in the United States. They can help you. More information, you can get to their Facebook page by going to my website, ericzaneshow.com. Click on the BK Guns and Stuff logo. Also, if you just reach out to them via the phone, 616. Hang on, small font. 902-2447. You can reach out to Benjamin or Kyle yourself and take care of it that way. Thank you to BK Guns and Stuff. Hey, if you got a business and you're like, hey, man, I want to promote my own business, but, I'm spending all my time doing whatever it is I do, my services, my goods, minding my store, then you probably don't have that much time to operate with your social media, which helps you get your name out there, whether that be Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever social media platform you use. If you're building your business, you probably don't have time to have the best social media presence, that is. Stella Fly does that for you, okay? They can take those platforms and make sure that your business is front and center on top of people's minds, utilizing these platforms, which are free for you, okay? You need to use them wisely, though, so that's why you call upon Stella Fly. More information at stellafly.com. Thank you to them for being on board with the show. Okay. Bleeding Heart Brian sent along a story today that, I was shocked to see it, and I want to share it right now. It caught me off guard, and I can't believe that this happened more than 100 years ago. I also can't believe that the Bronx Zoo in New York, I don't know if they really need to apologize. This is another one of these stories where something happened a long time ago, and the powers that be are making it so that they are apologizing now. And boy, I don't know if they really need to do that. I guess just for the. If they said nothing, it might look weird, but they have. The zoo, the Bronx Zoo, just came out with a bit of history, archive footage of something that the zoo did way back when. And in showing that they did this, they've had to since apologize. So I guess, I don't have a problem with that. I don't want to say, don't be politically correct, but it was a long, long time ago. Some asshole thought it would be a good idea to, I guess, kidnap or somehow, I can't think of any other term other than kidnap some dude from the People's Democratic Republic of Congo. A dude who lived with a group of people that way back then in the early part of the 20th century, like 1906, he lived with his loved ones, and we're talking, based on the picture. Well, I can't even go by the picture because it's taken from the zoo. Who knows what type of getup that they put him in? But they basically hijacked this guy, took him to the zoo, the Bronx Zoo in New York, and they put the dude in an orangutan enclosure behind bars and put him like in a grass skirt with like a fucking bone through his nose, unga bunga shit, and said, hey, come see this man this black guy who lives with the apes. What? This happened. This is an actual thing that happened. And the Bronx Zoo has basically unveiled all of the information about it to the public and followed it up with a apology saying we are sickened that this is what we did, but we think you should know this. So I guess I kind of see that being upfront with them because, let's just say that somebody said, hey, we need a response. That sometimes it's better to get out in front of it. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a PR guy. I just take it as it comes. But here's the tale of the guy known as Ota Benga. For 1 week in 1906, the Bronx Zoo, New York, kept a man, and they only did this for one week, from Central Africa in the monkey house, in an enclosure. He stayed trapped in an iron cage with an orangutan while hundreds of people watched. I mean, people thought we're really different than in their thinking. I can just imagine watching the behaviors of these people, of watching this. I mean, I would like to think that some of them would have more sense, but you're talking 114 years ago, and people were fucking. You think they're weird now? They're even more weird back then. So now the organization that runs the zoo is apologizing. The Wildlife Conservation Society issued a statement on Wednesday formally apologizing for the imprisonment and display of Ota Benga at the zoo. Boy, at least going forward, you'd think if this guy has any descendants, they get like a free lifetime pass for the rest of their days going forward. And you eat all you want. Your money's no good here, descendants of Benga family. Come on in. You can do whatever you want. You can just run. You can if you feel like going to play with you. You what? You want to swim with the penguins because they're adorable? I've always wanted to do that. Jump in there. Hey, we're closing off the penguin enclosure because the Benga family is here. They have free reign of the place because Grandpa Ota in 1906 was treated like shit in the monkey exhibit. If you're the descendants of Ota Benga going forward, you're allowed to march in and you see baby tiger. You can just pick that little fucker up. You get to take it home for the day, There's got to be some family. They need to track them down and need to make them honorary owners of the zoo going forward. That's what they need to do to make this right. We deeply regret that many people and generations have been hurt by these actions or by failure previously to publicly condemn and denounce them. This is all new information. Nobody knew that this existed. We recognize that overt and systemic racism persists, and our institution must play a greater role to confront it. Well, I don't know if I'd go that far. I'd say we know that racists exist, but thank God there aren't any dumb shits running the zoo to take black guys and put them in the monkey enclosure. We realize that our asses would be kicked. Can you imagine if there's one guy in there when they have the meeting and reveal it at for the Wildlife Conservation Society, and one guy's got like the file folders of Ota Benga, and he goes, "Wait a minute, we got some information. This happened," and there's one guy there who's not outraged. He's like, "What? I don't see the problem." Oh my God! They like kick his ass right there, feed him to the lions because he's not outraged. Benga was born from Mbuti, from the Mbuti people of present-day Democratic Republic of Congo, was put on display at the zoo's monkey house for several days during the week of September 8th, 1906. According to the statement, and by the way, if I see any racist jokes in the comments, I'm going to have a real problem with that. That better not happen. I don't want to see any of that shit. That's the way if you're a racist, that's the way you're going to get fired, because these are public comments and people are going to kick your ass. So I know none of you would do that, but if you think you're going to be funny, nobody's going to like that. You're going to get your ass kicked. So don't do it. I know how to navigate these waters. I'm a professional. You don't. Okay? Where was I? According to the statement, he was released after local black ministers expressed their outrage and demanded his freedom. Boy, that's tricky business. If you're one of the black dudes in 1906 who says, "Hey, this is bullshit. You got to knock this shit off." I mean, that was at a time when black people were, fuck, we hadn't even had the civil rights movement back then. So that was at great risk for them to do that, to go speak on behalf of the dude who was in the fucking monkey enclosure. This poor son of a bitch, he's sitting there for a week with apes. What the hell? While imprisoned at the zoo, Ota Benga underwent inhumane conditions, according to Pamela Newkirk, the author of quotes, the title of this is Spectacle, The Astonishing Life of Ota Benga. Newkirk also wrote a CNN opinion article about Benga's imprisonment, said he often faced hundreds of people at a time while trapped inside the iron cage with an orangutan. I had in this publicity photo, he's holding a baby chimp. Ota Benga is, but I think that an orangutan is incredibly strong. I mean, you run a major risk there of something really, really bad happening. I mean, you look at the news over the years, and there have been people who have been raising these things. And then I think they have the strength of 10 guys. And then all of a sudden, the next thing you know, that fucker turns on you and actually grabs your twig and berries and rips it off at the base and eats it while you bleed out. So, I mean, absolutely remarkable that he survived a week with a fucking orangutan in his face all the time. Can you imagine the terror this poor fucker's going through? I would have, kind of like when you're in prison. And, I think Dale would be able to back me up on this. When you wind up in the joint, it's sometimes a good idea to lay down the law. You're the new guy there. You find the big swinging dick in the prison and you beat the fuck out of him. And you let everybody know that there's a new sheriff in town and you're not going to be somebody's bitch. You want to survive in prison, you get there. I mean, if I show up in prison, I'm like, all right, who's the big fucking John Coffey in the joint here? I'm going to go take him out. Do my best to do that in order to survive. Now, truth be told, I'd be, raped mercilessly by the whole prison. But I mean, you can't blame a girl can dream, right? So if you're Ota Benga, perhaps he's sitting there like, fuck, man, I got to take this orangutan out. And I frankly would love to see that of him, taking care of his safety by making sure that the orangutan gets the fuck beat out of it going forward, because I wouldn't want to risk the fucking thing losing his mind on me. He's in the joint with the orangutan for one full fucking week. So, all right. The article goes on to say that while that was happening, he would only have short periods of time outside. After a week, Benga started to resist and to threaten the attendants, which contributed to his release. So he was like, all right, this is bullshit. I did not sign up for this. I need somebody to give me or I'm going to start kicking some ass. Perhaps that was it. When he was finally freed, Reverend James Gordon took him in at an orphanage that he ran in Weeksville, Brooklyn, according to the WCS. Benga, who was unable to return home, died by suicide. Holy fuck. 10 years later. Holy shit. I got to read this book. This sounds amazing. I just can't believe this happened. What a fucked up time. You hear about now, and the battles that minorities face. And it's, some would say it's just as bad when you see horrible cases like George Floyd getting murdered in the street. But I just cannot get over the fact that this was even a thing. The organization that runs the zoo now denounced the quote, the eugenics-based pseudo-scientific racism writings and philosophies, end quote, that were advanced by its founders, Madison Grant and Henry Fairfield Osborne Sr. Boy, how'd you like to be descendants of those two fuckers? Madison, there are great grandkids to this day who are like, oh, the fucking news is out. Shit. Well, wipe off from the family tree. Madison Grant, Henry Fairfield Osborne Sr. Not here. Fuck you. I hated that guy. I hate him. You got to do that, right? I mean, if your great grandpa is Henry Fairfield Osborne Sr., the one who kidnapped dude and threw him in with the orangutans for a week, fuck. The book by Madison, this asshole Madison Grant, one of the two idiots, He wrote a book called The Passing of the Great Race. Oh, shit. Was used as a defense during the Nuremberg trials. What? Grant and Osborne also helped found the American Eugenics Society in 1926, according to the statement. What? As part of its mission to be more transparent, the WCS is making all records and archives related to Benga publicly available. That's good. The organization said it is committed to developing additional projects to make their history accessible and transparent. You know what? I think this is all really good. I think when you take moments like this, you hammer home the point about the continued struggle of minorities, and you also, I mean, whatever. The apology is the apology. I don't think there's anybody who's wailing and crying that the WCS is a terrible thing. WCS had nothing to do with it. The zoo was run by Grant and Fairfield Osborne Sr., but them coming out and saying that, it highlights some of the shit that went on back then, the fucked up deal that was, and can never happen again. That is proof positive that that shit back then was a fucking terrible, terrible thing that we've hopefully tried to cultivate to something that will never happen again. This hot on the heels of the Rob Bliss video that took place. I got to get that guy on. I know he's making the rounds. Hopefully, I'll be able to get him on the show. But fuck, if you told the people in that community in Arkansas that Rob Bliss was standing there holding the sign, they would be like, I see no problem with this. We got to bring that back. Those sick, racist fucks that were driving by screaming nasty shit to Rob Bliss. All right. That is a horrible, horrible thing. I'm glad. Thank you to Brian who sent that along. That is a phenomenal work by you to send that story along. I was just shocked by it. But that actually happened. He wrote tongue-in-cheek, they're going to cancel the Bronx Zoo. They're not. They're not. It's an amazing zoo, and there's obviously no one there that has anything to do with what went on in that thing and that whole moment with Ota Benga. But that might be some good light reading, the life of this guy. I might want to check that out. I've got some folks, I know you're excited about this, some celestial excitement. I know that Zaniac Mike Ball, good friend for a long time, and the man behind MB Distributing of Little Debbie products. So you got the end cap. I can't talk, sorry. I get going and I can't stop. He loves celestial excitement, and boy, do I have more great celestial excitement for you. Two great things to talk about. I also have a supercut of news anchors talking about the great mask debate. And when you say it that carefully, mask debate, it doesn't sound funny in any way. But if you say masturbate, which is how they all say it, it sounds like something completely different. So when I say mask debate, nothing. If I say the great masturbate, which is what all these fuckers said when I play that for you, it's hysterical. Thank you to Dirk for sending that along. If you ever want to help out the show with content and you find a story that's interesting that you think I would have a fun time talking about or excited to share with you, please send it to me, eric@ericzaneshow.com. I read them all. Some I use, some I don't. If I don't use it, don't get discouraged. It's just something that I decided, or maybe I forgot, or even send it twice. I don't care. Just know that when you do that, you are contributing to the content on the podcast. I can make just about anything interesting. So send it along, and then we'll go from there. I do depend on you for a lot of things, and content, and you being all contributors to the show in some way, shape, or form. When you do that, it really helps. So thank you for those who have done that in the past and continue to do so. You're a great help. Okay, the Kent County Health Department has, their full staff in place during COVID-19 to try to help you if you need anything. Testing at 4 testing spots throughout Kent County. AccessKent.org/health is their website. They're encouraging you to cough into your elbow. Wear a mask. Hell, you pretty much have to these days, or you're not going to get served here in Michigan. and be socially distant. Okay? They stress all those things. They have, as I said, the 4 COVID testing stations, and the whole staff is there. So if you're struggling with anything related to sexually transmitted infections, they can help. Vaccines for the kids, they can help. And any COVID information, all at your disposal. That is accesskent.org/health. Excuse me. And accesskent.org/WIC for all the information you need about plugging into the WIC program. I've got many friends I know who have been hammered in the pandemic with unemployment and whatnot. As you try to pick up the pieces, the one thing you don't have to go without for you and your family is food. Look, you pay into this system. You have contributed to it with your taxes to build this infrastructure. So plug into it, man. Utilize that. A quick nod to my friends over at Fairhaven Church in Hudsonville, Michigan, right on the corner of 28th Street and Baldwin. On regular intervals, you'll see volunteers holding signs over their head that say free produce. They have been growing and harvesting produce, and then they box all that stuff up, and you pull up, and they give it to you. If you need food, and you are in that neighborhood, and you see that, that's what that is. Produce costs money. They give it for free. Well done. You know, truth be told, I might be speaking out of school here because, I don't know, maybe they've exhausted it. But even if they have, well done. That is a beautiful thing. No questions asked. The people volunteer their time, their money, their talent, their treasure. And what a thing. I mean, that is really, really spectacular and selfless. So well done, Fairhaven Church, and all of the other various churches in around your neck of the woods, or my neck of the woods. I mean, it's really, really great. Thanks again, as always, to Metalworks Body Shop. That is so much fun to do that, by the way. Whenever I can say, hey, motherfucker, go to Metalworks. Metalworks Body Shop in Coopersville, Michigan. If you've got a camper, travel trailer, fifth wheel, RV, motorhome, whatever it may be, and you crack it up when you're, you're trying to back it into the site and you're half in the bag, and you hit a tree because you're a dumb dick, they can fix it for you. Your wife's going to be so pissed off when she says, Steven, what happened? I don't know. I was just backing it up and the tree got out of the way. Look, stupid fuck. All you had to do was back that thing in. We were going to go drink a few beers by the fire, have some s'mores, put the kids to bed, and then I was going to sit on your face. That's all you had to do. And then you had to go a little too far, didn't you, you stupid bastard? Well, thank God Zane's talking about Metalworks. That means you don't have to worry about it now. So give me your face, and then you can't finish as punishment. So give me that face, and then call up Metalworks. This took a weird turn. Metalworks Body Shop in Coopersville, Michigan. I got their logo on the top sponsor scroll on my website. It looks just like the one over my shoulder. Click on their logo. It goes right to their Facebook page, and all their contact info is there. Or just go to metalworksbodyshop.com, home of the glazed face. Okay? They can fix anything. They got the biggest spray booth in Michigan, and they're awesome. All those jackasses are probably laughing hilariously at this ad. That's one of the great things about a podcast. Never before have I had more freedom and flexibility to do fun advertising. You know, I used to love fun advertising. It's something I used to do on radio because nobody listens to the fucking commercials on radio. So what I used to do is I used to like play drops over the ads to get people to listen to them. And you never knew when it was, and you would never know when it was going to happen. So you'd be sitting there, and all of a sudden you hear the big echoey fart, or
I feel great.
Or you just hear out of the blue.
Who grandmama this is?
These stupid drops.
She fucking turned.
Serious question.
Help with the fucking jam.
And so once everybody got all butthurt with that because somebody bitched, I couldn't do that anymore. So fuck, what do I do now? Well, I can obviously do that in the podcast, and I can also do Forbidden Spanish, basically do whatever the hell I want. I had a guy reach out to me and say, I'm so mad. I go, why? Because you said this. You said this and you said this, and I'm offended, and I'm never going to Baldwin Ace Hardware again. And in fact, I'm going to call him. I go, yeah? Here's the number. What? Yeah, this is what you call. You call and ask for this guy. You call and ask for Mike. Why are you giving me the number? Because he's going to tell you to go fuck yourself, just like I am. I don't give a fuck. You don't like something I say, call the sponsors. They're going to be even harder on you than I am. You dumb shit. Do you think this is a fucking radio station where you can cancel the ads on me? They don't give a shit. They know you're a cock. So fuck off. All right. That's what they'll do at Metalworks. I dare you, if you're offended at ever anything I say, call up Ryan at Metalworks Body Shop and say, Zane said something that offended me. So I'm calling you to tell you that I've organized a Facebook group and I've got a change.org petition. And, we're going to cancel you for fucking supporting Zane. Ryan's going to go, you motherfucker. Fuck you. Hang up. Ryan's going to do it. And I'm going to shove a monkey wrench up your ass the second I see your face. All right. I'm blessed. Okay, one more. Go to TC Paintball, schedule a party for this weekend so you can go and do the airfield play, the airplay. I get that wrong every time. It's airplay, right? Isn't it airplay? Text me, Rick. Is it airplay? Hold on. See, I've got the flexibility to call people now on the podcast because I don't have to use my phone. It's been too long since I got Rick on anyway, so...
Hello.
Hey, I'm live. How are you?
I'm great. How are you? And by the way, you look amazing in that sundress.
You look so amazing in that sundress.
You look so amazing in that sundress.
Yeah, I just hit it. You can't hear it, but I just played it. Okay,
right on.
So, thank you for the well wishes. That was a crazy thing yesterday, man.
Yeah, out of the blue, man. That's never good.
Have you ever had to has that ever happened, a sudden moment like that where it's like here 1 second, gone the next? Have you ever experienced that?
Everybody's had that. My mom died in 2000, so I had that a little bit, but we saw it coming.
Right.
We saw it coming because she fought cancer for a couple of years, so we knew that was going to happen.
Have you ever had a sudden one like that where in an instant it's over?
Beyond friends or people I know, not really family members.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I take that back. Yeah, I did. A year and a half ago.
Okay.
A year and a half ago, I don't know why that escaped my memory so quick, but a year and a half ago, I was sitting on my couch, and my phone rang, and it was my sister. And if my sister communicates with me, typically, it's a text. So when the phone's ringing, you're going, oh, shit. What is it?
Right,
I answered the phone, and I said, who? And she said, your brother Gary. And I'm like, oh, no. And then, then the grief and the remorse sets in. It's not a good time.
Very shocking, very shocking. But man, I'm energized at the support. It was weird because today, even just starting the podcast, I kind of had to break it up into two parts. But in the first one, I focused on the day and the encouragement by Diana to get back after it, and the audience and people like yourself, that's all kind of centers us,
Yeah, it really does, and sometimes you get to a point in life where you're kind of independent. You don't think you need those things, but I'll use this as an example. Take Facebook birthdays. You know what I mean? I could give a shit less, but all of a sudden on your birthday, when those happy birthdays start pouring in from people you haven't heard from in who knows how long, it's like, that pumps you up a little bit. You're like, being thought of. That's cool.
Yeah, it really does. So thank you, man.
Yeah, no problem. And that's just a human thing, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Now just 12 hours before that, we were tearing it up on paintball, and I can't tell you, man, that was the best time we've ever had, and I owe it all to you and the outdoor venue that you have.
Where, as far as timing, I got a lot of opinions about the state of the world that we're in right now and what we've been through already. But as far as the timing goes, when that all happened, I had less staff but more time. So I was able to kind of laser focus. I was able to go to work every day and just worry about getting that outdoor done. And by the time, we felt like it was our time to open, that was ready. So we didn't even have to consider doing the indoor. And that was kind of a nice thing where the indoor is a different set of rules and, still a little bit weird as far as doing things indoor. But when we were able to open outdoor, it was like we were kind of able to hit the ground running again, which was awesome.
Yeah, man. Really, really cool. I didn't even know you. Now I say airplay, yes?
Airball.
Airball. Damn it. Why do you?
No, that's an industry term. People that are in paintball understand the term. People that are outside of it don't. And we're such a small community, but we're a tight community, so we're using terms like that amongst our own conversations all the time. And when somebody says something different, I kind of cringe. I'm like, no, that's not what it's called. But I mean, to the real world, it doesn't matter at all.
So airball is when you're playing with inflatable obstacles.
Correct.
Okay, that's it.
Cool story, horrible bitch.
And that's the typical tournament side of it. And the reason that it exists is, number one, you can put the whole field in a trailer and drive it to a different location.
You sound like a
and number two,
goddamn
you can
pussy to me.
change the field up, really fast and easily based on a whim or a new layout coming out for a particular event you're going to play.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Got it. Now, but the tactical field, I didn't know you were building that, so you got all those obstacles. I didn't even know that was something that you were planning, Rick.
That's the other side of paintball. In paintball, there's the guys that want to play Army and the guys that want to play sport. And we always cater to, I'm one of those guys that come from the tournament side. So that's my passion. And you can tell that I talk about it, till I'm blue in the face sometimes, but that's my passion. But, the more relaxed recreational side of it is the tactical, either in the woods or playing on a village type setting, something like that, where it's just like what you did when you're a kid. You grab a stick that looks like a gun and you run around and you pretend like you're
It was so great. And you know what was something about that time, and we've got the next one coming up on August 19th, the COVID uprising, or I'm sorry, the Dog Days of Paint. With all those kids, there was like 10, 11, 12-year-olds playing with us, and they were great at it. They were really, really good, and nobody got hurt. They all loved it. Nobody cried. We shot the shit out of those little fuckers.
And vice versa.
Yeah. No, that was cool. Thank you. I really appreciate it. And yeah, man, I'm looking forward to the next one. And I appreciate your nonstop support of the podcast. Let me run something by you, because when I was because you always have a pretty good way of writing me, and my confidence always struggles. But when I announced that Ben was going to join me for the one-off podcast today, occasionally I see people that write, "Oh, I gave up on Zane's podcast, just not for," and they like give me the reasons. And all they want to say is, "Hey, this is going to be fun," but they set me up with, "Oh, I don't listen anymore. It sucks now. It's just not my cup of tea." And fuck, that kills me every fucking time.
Yeah, it's a gut punch, right?
It is. And really, even when they're showing support about the idea that he's going to be on for one show, that they'd like to watch it, it really stings. It bugs the shit out of me.
What you got to remember, though, is you got to remember the rule of big numbers. If you think about big numbers, and your podcast kind of falls into that category, when you got big numbers, you're going to have everything. Everything's going to happen all the time. You're going to have people that love you, which, those people are obvious. They're always piping up and showing their support. But you also got, probably just as many or a similar number of people that don't like you. So, you're going to have that. But the thing is, you've got advertisers standing in line. You've got, a growing number of views and watches and a growing number of Patreon people, which is kind of up and down. But, you do get new people all the time. So, you're going to have your haters. And I think for every hater, there's going to be somebody that really loves you. So, is it really that bad? It's just that the haters are always going to be the more vocal ones.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And we all got to deal with when you're controversial and you like to, like I said, you like to plant your flag into a hill and possibly die on that hill, and then maybe later on move to a different hill and then plant your flag again. When you do that, you're going to be polarizing. So you're going to piss some people off. There's been times where I listen to gritted teeth, like, God damn it, Zane. I've done that, and I've got my phone out to text or email you, and then then I probably get lost in something else or think better of it because I'm older now. And I'm like, whatever. We'll just talk about it. We'll talk about bullshit sometime. But I have those moments myself. But I listen every day. You fill my commute both ways to work. With the content that you have. So I'm there.
Thank you. Let me ask you this. I was talking earlier about Dr. Stella Emanuel. Have you been following that story at all?
I have not. No.
Okay. You'll hear it on today's podcast when you hear it. So I'll cover it and you can do some research on it. But there's some things on today's podcast that I think you'll be like, holy shit, I need more information. She's one of them. And the story of the Bronx Zoo is something that I talk about just before I called you. And you're not going to believe what the hell happened in 1906. So that's just something for you to think about that I just finished talking about.
Yeah, I'm down at my Lansingville right now, so I'll listen to that on my way home.
All right. Well, dude, thanks again. I love you, and your support is immeasurable. You're a great friend, and I care very much about you, and I just wanted to tell you that, okay?
I appreciate that, and, that's one of the things with this podcast is it's personable. You know what I mean? It's personable, and you don't feel like you're watching somebody in a different market that's, talking to the general public. You feel like sometimes they're talking right to you, which is cool, and sometimes you really are. And I think that's one of the things that people really they really gravitate towards.
Thank you. That is you have made my day with that. That is absolutely wonderful. Any bit of crybabiness that I was having is gone when you say that. So thank you.
Well, I mean, you're going to have your ups and downs. There's no doubt about that. And unfortunately, going through life, the older you get, the more of these things you have to deal with. You're just forced to. But I mean, it's like, I'll compare it to Michigan. People hate Michigan because of the seasons. You got your ups and downs. In life, you got your ups and downs, but the downs make you appreciate the ups. And I'm a big believer in that,
All right. I love it, man. Okay. I'll talk to you. I'll see you at church. Okay, Rick?
Yeah. Probably not.
All right. I'll see you, man. Have a good one. Bye. All right. How about that? I love him. That dude should do a podcast. He can talk, man. What time is it? 10:57 Eastern Time. I got a noon Zoom, and I got to pee. What do? I think I'm going to save Celestial Excitement and the mask debate for Patreon. The mask debate. No, I'll play the mask debate because that's the most fun. No, fuck you. I'm going to save it. I'll play it further down the road, but I'm gonna save that for Patreon. The mass debate supercut is awesome. That'll be a Patreon only join. I like to have things a few special moments for Patreon as much as I can. So the mass debate supercut audio will be played, and you're gonna love that. And then I have two enormous Celestial Excitement stories that I am so freaking excited about. There was a launch yesterday, and of something that is absolutely outstanding. And we need to talk space tourism. Wow. Who would have thought that you could do this? It's happening, like right now. Okay? That's what I have for you on the Patreon bonus podcast. Let me check out what I got here on audience. The restream. It's funny because I can look at all these comments. Now it's way different. The what I have here at my disposal, I had completely forgotten after I started the podcast that I can change the captions. But to be able to click a button, it says Eric Zane, local asshole. Switching it out between that and other things is great. This is something that when I'm doing the podcast, I don't have the time, energy, or anything at all to focus on this. So with this increase in capability with the platform on Restream, this opens up even more things I think I just butt dialed Rick, that I can explore. So that's really, really cool. All right, that's it. I'm screeching to a halt. Thank you, folks, for being part of this, and we again appreciate you all for being on board with the show, and all the pick-me-ups as we move on after the passing of David Ward. The show, everything I've done today is dedicated to the memory of Diana's brother, David Ward. May God rest your soul. May you have a quick trip to heaven. We will honor his legacy on Thursday. There is a funeral that is planned at Martinson's, Martensons funeral home in Allen Park, Michigan. So that will be next Thursday. I know some of you wanted that information. The obituary may be available on their website as of right now. But thank you so much. We'll have Patreon in just a little while, and then Ben Glaze tonight on Patreon. He is my guest. You don't want to miss that, man. Ben Glaze in this room with me, video, What's $10? You know, you can watch it and then tell me to fuck off and then cancel it and then whatever. What, you know, okay, great. Or maybe you'll actually like the show and stay with it. I've had some people reach out and say, Zane, that light-colored hat, we can't see what that is. It says Metalworks Body Shop on it. All right, that's it. Podcast is over. Thank you, folks. Bye-bye.